lot of concern about the hyperscalers and what's going to happen to the firms like Micron as they report their earnings. What are you expecting?
Yeah, so as far as Micron is concerned, this is probably one of the strongest stories I'd say out there across the semi ecosystem. And as far as revenue, expect about 12.8 billion. It implies growth of about 47% year over year. And then for the guidance here for the the upcoming quarter, you're looking about a little over 14 billion in revenue. And again, that would imply year over year growth of north of 70%. And clearly, what's driving a lot of that is what's going on the high bandwidth memory side of things within the DRAM industry. And when you think about Micron, about 80% of their revenue right now is really tied to the DRAM story and that high bandwidth growth ecosystem.
Okay, so with AI-related demand running at very strong levels, what do you think investors want to hear from management to feel more comfortable that the demand is sustainable?
Well, for Micron and the memory industry, it's all about visibility and always has been. And you kind of think about the next 12 to 18 months. I think what really investors want to hear about is the strength of the high bandwidth memory cycle. It's the visibility they have not only into 2026 but more into 27. I fully expect them to come out and say that they're fully sold out in terms of their high bandwidth memory capacity through the end of next year, and potentially already building orders into 2027. We also want to hear about what the pricing landscape is going to look like here for high bandwidth memory and the DRAM side of things, right? I mean, demand is so strong at this point in time. Micron actually just alluded to the fact that they're exiting the consumer aspects of the industry. So this is a cycle we think has legs to it, has some significant upside. The question right now is the magnitude of the upside, which hopefully we get some clarity on here on the call. And then I'd say if there's one thing that could go wrong, or where I think others are going to be looking at, is what the CapEx is going to look like specifically for Micron. They alluded to last quarter about 18 billion for the upcoming year. We fully expect that number to go up. You don't want it to go up, obviously, too much.
Are there specific metrics or signals such as backlog, long-term customer commitments, demand visibility, even normalized run rates that would best indicate that it's a durable cycle rather than a short-term surge?
Well, it's tough. It's always tough to kind of manage the expectations of any upcycle and really look at any specific indicator out there. I think again for this cycle, it's a little bit different in the sense that you want to get clarity in terms of really the content growth story for memory, and it really comes down to that. It's high bandwidth memory as you go from high bandwidth memory 3 with Blackwell to Rubin in mid 2027, where you go to HBM4. There's going to be a lot more capacity that you're going to need in these future AI workstations, and Micron's going to be a huge beneficiary of that. We expect orders to ramp up there in the first half of 26, specifically into Q2 and the second half of next year. So we expect the market to be supply constrained. Clearly, we want to see how supply constrained, how management talks to it. But specifically, as far as metrics out there you can really look at, it's tough to really say, but you want to hear the commentary and kind of the indication about how supply constrained and how much visibility they have going into, more importantly, 27.
If it continues to take up a larger share of the product mix, how should investors think about the impact on margin? And does an improving price mix meaningfully drive profitability higher?
So, when you think about high bandwidth memory is essentially just the layering or the vertical layering of this DRAM, right? It's the most complex memory product we've ever seen created across the ecosystem. And the way we kind of look at this is when you look at high bandwidth memory, it soaks up, let's call it 3 to 4 times the amount of capacity. So you need a lot more capacity when you shift towards high bandwidth memory. As far as high bandwidth memory is concerned, it is a higher value offering, and as a result, it's going to command higher margins. So we do expect those margins to continue to be guided higher as we look here over the next couple of quarters. And clearly, if we have a favorable pricing environment on top of that, which we fully expect, and something that we've seen here over the last couple of months, that momentum continues, that'll be another tailwind here on the margins.